Hello, it's Bob Moog from UG Studios, and I'm here with Mr. Rick Woldenberg. And Rick is the CEO of, can we say 3 companies?
Sure, why not?
Of 3 companies: Learning Resources, Educational Insights, and Hand in Mind?
Hand to Mind.
Hand to Mind, excuse me. And Rick and I have been friends a long time. When did we first meet?
Probably when we were teenagers at summer camp.
We met in the 1970s at summer camp.
Bob was a counselor.
I was a counselor, Rick was a camper.
Shaping young minds.
And we were in northern Wisconsin, in the north woods of Wisconsin. And then we didn't see each other for 20 years. And then I started University Games, and a couple years after that, we ran into each other and we said, hey, we know you. We know each other from summer camp. But you were in a different situation than me. I started University Games. You went into a family business.
Right.
And we had a conversation a couple of years ago about family businesses versus small businesses. Can you talk a little bit about how you ended up in your family business? Because you'd gone to law school and had a law degree, and that wasn't necessarily a natural path. Was it a path you were expecting all along?
Oh, nothing about my career was what I expected. I had a degree as an engineer, and at the last minute when I graduated college, my father hired me for his lab supply company. And then 2 years later, he fired me. That's what gave me my law career. And then when my billable hours got insane, I went looking for something else to do. Mm-hmm. Certainly wouldn't go back to work for the family business because I already did that.
Right, and you'd already been fired.
I'd been fired once. And
right.
So my mother had started Learning Resources when I was in law school. I didn't know anything about it, but it seemed like a good opportunity. And once I was fairly sure that my father couldn't fire me at my mother's company, I took the job.
So your family company was a printing business, right?
The original business was a schools business.
Business.
Making school supplies and educational materials. And from that business is now called Hand to Mind. And out of Hand to Mind grew the opportunity to create a business selling to school supply dealers. And that's where Learning Resources came from. But the world changed, and so did the companies.
Yeah. And how long were you and your mom both there before she left?
Well, my mom is sort of
semi-retired. She's still there.
She's there from time to time. Mm-hmm. And so I've been there 30 years. So we've been together 30 years.
And one of the things with a family company, by definition, is you have family there.
Yeah.
So you're working with your mother, and you now are working with a son and a daughter?
Yes.
And what are the challenges with that? How is that different than a small business in terms of your perception?
Well, I think that I'm third generation in this business because the original family business, the lab supply business, goes back to my grandfather. So, in a family business where the company is really a legacy company that goes on, it's not for sale. Mm-hmm. And, the way you look at things when you're really in it to stay and that's your lifestyle, is different. You take a very long view, a little more paternalistic. The business doesn't make a compromise in like how good it tries to be. So we try to be best in class, but the objective is to run the business as well as you can. And for me, with working with 2 kids in the business, 4th generation, it's a great opportunity to create something that really lasts a long time. We're already over 100 years of family business.
Wow.
So that's kind of amazing to do something for 100 years. And, I think the kids see an opportunity to continue that legacy.
And do you find that the business gets run more like a family because it's a family business? In other words, like for us, when I think about University Games, I care about making right decisions because I want to make sure the employees and our suppliers and our customers all have jobs. And it can impact a lot of people if we make wrong decisions at University Games. But I don't have other families, my brother's family, my sister's family, my uncle's family, that I have to worry about. In a family business, do you have more, I guess I'm asking 2 questions. Do you have family members that you have to worry about just in a general case? I'm not asking about your company specifically, that you have to think about when you're running the business. And then do you find that the way you interact with people inside the company is more the way you would interact with family members?
I think that we try to run the business itself on a best-in-class basis. Mm-hmm. But when it's your own business, you don't have to make every decision based on money.
Yeah.
And so, we one of the things we say internally is if we think it's okay, then it's okay. We don't have to worry about what anyone else thinks. And so if you looked at our results, you might say, well, that stinks. But if we think it's okay,
right,
then it's okay. And so that's a nice
great.
thing. And in terms of like the family side of the family business, we try to take the approach that we want to run the company so that for someone who's cast a lot with us, someone who works for the company, they don't have to worry about the family side. So like for them, it's their relationship with this company, and we want to make that the best experience possible. And I hope from their perspective, while they may like the way we run the company, it's not so much that it's a family business. The family side of things is just dealing with one kind of stakeholder. Employees are a stakeholder, the people who use our products are stakeholders, our vendors are stakeholders, the people in the general area around our company are stakeholders, but so is family. They're different class of stakeholder, and we try to deal with those issues kind of on our time.
So the people that work at the company don't get, it's not intermingled. They don't have to know about it and they don't have to worry about it.
I figure it doesn't have to be their problem.
Right. That's a good way to think about it. What do you like about what you do? What's your favorite thing?
We're very lucky in our business. We run a mission-driven business. And so, I think as we've sort of articulated that, I think we all kind of lean into it. For us, the way we run our business is we have a mission to touch lives in a positive way. We're trying to help kids get a great start in life, and we feel every child has it right. And it turns out if you just focus on that, and that's what you think about when you wake up, and that's what you think about when you go to bed, God willing, you make enough money to keep the bank happy and everyone else happy, and that's how we approach it. And so,
and you like that you're doing something that's theoretically, based on mission, going to help kids.
To be honest with you, that is what fuels me. And also I would tell you that running a business of the age of our business and keeping it healthy means something too, because we touch a lot of lives by just existing, by providing jobs. There's a lot of families that have hopefully been able to make a better life for themselves because they chose to work with us.
One of the things that I find, I know a lot of people in the industry and I do a lot of these interviews, is having known you now for over 40 years, you have a lot of passion outside of the blinders of your company. And over the years, you've gotten involved in testing legislation and testified in front of Congress. And you gave great thought and were very proactive and early on addressing the tariffs that we were facing in 2019. And even recently, you and I had a conversation about cyber attacks. All of these are areas that most people running businesses either don't think about that much, don't feel like they have any control over, or don't want to get involved outside of their own company. What's driving you? Why are you getting so worked up over these issues and working so hard, just not only on learning resources, but for the whole industry?
Maybe I have attention span issues. I don't know. As a small business, there's only so many problems that you can rely on other people to solve. And in some selected cases, we've been hit with some pretty significant issues. And I sort of felt like if we didn't become invested in doing better for ourselves, protecting ourselves, we wouldn't get protected. And so sometimes that's the motivation. I'm very committed to keeping our business healthy, and there are external threats that sometimes are serious. Otherwise, there's just issues that come up, and part of running a business that lasts a long time is taking some risks seriously.
What are if you're going to pick one or two issues that you see facing the industry over the next 2 years, what would be your big issues, the big one or two that you see being things people should be concerned about if they're in the toy industry?
Well, obviously, I wish our industry, they'd just leave us alone and let us do our business. We're making products for children and doing it in a responsible way. We sort of seem to be caught in the middle of a war between two governments over trade. And, we got a lot of years of investment in our business, and it seems at risk based on what a couple of individuals decide. And I feel sort of powerless in that. And I feel that's an issue.
Are you going to try to move out of China and manufacture other places? What's your feeling about that?
I feel as though China does a great job in providing what we in this marketplace need and demand.
That's what I feel too.
It's hard to replace, but we have to look because I can't predict what these couple or
What
three
these
important
right
people are going
to
to
do. Right.
So I have to sort of hedge my bets. And in terms of other issues, I feel as though our product needs to be at an appropriate selling price.
Mhm.
And I worry about the potential that if supply chain gets goofed up, our costs get goofed up, and that
Mhm.
could have a significant issue.
Yeah.
We have to stay relevant to our consumers. Nobody needs us. We have to
Right.
be they need to need us.
So last night at the Toady Awards, Isaac Larian made this comment when he won an award, which was, he was joking, but he said, "I'm raising prices tomorrow." It was obvious that what he's thinking about is how much money he can make. It doesn't sound like you're thinking that way.
Well, certainly that's the case. I think that we just approached the problem from a different perspective. First of all, I don't think that way because my goal is to make enough money to keep everybody happy, and that's good enough for us. We
Mhm.
can decide that. But ultimately, I think the business works a little differently, and for us, the way we make money is by helping people,
Mhm.
and that's no joke. Behind closed doors, that's what we say. And so the way we create more profit is by doing a better job of reaching kids more hours of the day and making more of a difference. And that means they'll want our products more, and then we make enough money to keep the bank happy and everybody
Yeah.
else happy.
That's fantastic. Well, we talked about compensating people for helping us with these interviews, and we decided on $1,000 stipend for you and other people that come in that can go to the charity of your choice, or you can keep it. But then someone had another idea, and they said, what would be more valuable would be if we had buttons made. So I would like to give you a button that is priceless, that you may keep, that shows that you have participated and been part of the UG Studios.
That is better than $1,000.
I thought you would think so. Thank you, Rick Woldenberg.
Thank you, Bob.